And it's the difference, guys, between a fan and a reporter. And I understand that Kirk is a fan. I respect that. I respect all fans and their opinions. That's part of the beauty of the game. But what we do for a living, and Todd knows this, and Eric knows this, and AJ knows this, and every player that I've ever covered comes to understand this, is different than what a fan does. We're not rooting for a team. We are covering the team. We are reporting about the team. And the thing that surprised me about this particular issue, and it wasn't just Kirk, by the way, a lot of Reds fans said, "Why are you writing about this?" And it stunned me to hear that reaction because it's like the number one issue with the Reds right now. It's what their front office is talking about. It's what their manager and coaching staff is talking about. It's a talk in the clubhouse. If that kind of conversation is going on multiple places, it's our job to report about that. That's what we do. And the other misconception, and Kirk had this misconception and others did too, was that somehow this article was dogging Jonathan India. If you read the sucker, there was a lot in there, probably half of it was about Jonathan India's value to the team, and that is why this is an issue in the first place. If Jonathan India wasn't a good player, wasn't a leader on this team, you figure it out, you just move him somewhere. But no, he is that guy, and that's why this particular issue was so interesting to both myself and to Trent, and that's why we wrote about it. We try to write about interesting subjects. It's pretty simple. And the only thing I'll say about Kirk is that it surprised me that as someone who's worked in media now for quite some time, he didn't quite grasp that whole thing. He just wants us to wave pom poms for the team, and I don't think that's happening.
Why do you think? Do you think it's just the Reds? Like you said you were shocked that the Reds fans were kind of like, well, why are you writing about this? Is it because nobody's ever really written about the Reds because they've had nothing to write about the Reds, or why do you think it is?
I don't quite know, Eric, to be perfectly honest. And maybe it's that that team has not been looked at in this way for quite some time now. This is a good problem to have. That was the lead of the story. They've got a problem, but it's a good problem. And I don't want to bash fans, but a lot of fans, like Kirk, don't necessarily understand what it is that we do. And that's fine. They're fans. They can think whatever they want. But reporters are supposed to look for interesting stories. This is a really interesting story. And by the way, we did not pick it out of thin air here. Ellie De La Cruz is coming. He's coming really soon. And when he comes, they're going to have to face these different questions with their roster and figure out the alignment and who's going to play where and how it's all going to work. That's interesting stuff.